Howdy, and welcome back to Celebrating Vintage Model Kits. Today we're going all the way to Japan, our first visit to Japan for aircraft models, or any models for that matter. This is the Tamiya 1964 issue of the Army Type 4 fighter, sometimes also called the Hayate. It's built by Nakajima. It's coded as the Ki-84. Japanese had multiple different naming systems for their aircraft, so it was called either the Ki-84 or the Army Type 4. The Allies, couldn't keep track of all these different coding systems that the Japanese were using, so they just came up with their own names. So they named fighter aircraft after male names, bombers after female names. So this particular one, the Type 4, ended up being called the Frank. So a lot of times people will just know this as the Frank. So let's take a look at this kit and see what we got. So I believe this is the first plastic aircraft model kit series from Tamiya. This was produced in 1964. The box coding on these starts with an FA, so the A is the aircraft, and they went from 101 to 105, and this is FA 104 for this particular model. So if you notice right off the bat, you've got a autograph here by a Japanese artist, which I will try to look up and see if I can find out who that artist is here. But a pretty spectacular box art, P-38 going down in the background and something else in flames going down over here. If you notice, the Tamiya markings here are in blue and yellow instead of what you traditionally think of now as the blue and red with the stars. So it's got Tamiya Moki plastic model kit, the Army Type 4 fighter. You can motorize it. Ask for TKKM's Marubachi baby motor. A bunch of stuff in Japanese that I can't read. I think that might be the KI or Ki 84 on there. On the side, got just some information. Again, motorizing it with this baby motor. It is a 1/72nd scale kit. Some of the Japanese aircraft models in these early days were in various different scales. This one is a 1/72nd. On the other side, shows some of their other aircraft. This is, I believe, incorrect. This Corsair, because I've been able to locate that the FA 105 was actually a different aircraft, which I'll go down the list of what they were. So you got a Zero, you got a Jack, a Raiden. Here's the box end. The FA 104, 72nd scale. And on this end, same thing. It's just printed directly onto it, unlike a lot of these other ones we've seen printed. This is actually gloss, so that's why it's still got a bit of a nice sheen to it and bright picture. It is a stapled box, making it a little bit simpler to produce. And the bottom of the box is also stapled. So here we have the instruction sheet. Just like that. So right here it's talking about right off at the top, looks like this baby motor that you could get. It's not included in this kit, but some of the wiring to utilize this baby motor is available. So I guess this was something that you purchased separately. So if you were going to do it, you could put it inside there, run the wires back to these little holes that went through the bottom of the fuselage that went into the base that we'll get to. So it's a step-by-step instruction, calling out each part by numbers. Assembling, it looks like it's got movable landing gear. This appears to be, you could probably put it up and down, so it's a movable part. Canopy, drop tanks, guns, and then here's the base. So you do get the parts for this base, where you can put your battery in here, and then these little prongs go up into these little posts here that would fit through little holes in the bottom of the fuselage. So that's it for the assembly. On the back you do have a parts call out with a representation of the trees, and then some markings, placement, and paint guides for some different squadrons. Fortunately, I can't read any Japanese, so I can't make out too much about this. So unfortunately, I was not able to spend a lot of time trying to figure out, what aircraft this might represent. So I can't read Japanese. So inside, the main aircraft parts are bagged. It was held closed with the staple thing specifically made for this Ki-84. Set that aside. Here's the base parts. Then you get the little wires going up through there. And then here are the wiring pieces. So you got everything but the motor itself, it looks like. And then here's the clear canopy. Pretty thick, fairly poorly molded. There's representation of the framing though, but there's an ejector pin mark right in the middle of it, but not the best canopy in the world. Let's take a look at the parts inside this bag. Let's see what we got. So, as usual, let's look at the fuselage parts first. So, fairly heavy rendition of panel lines. There are recessed, but very large. These would be Grand Canyon size on the real aircraft. A little bit of rivet detail. That's fairly fine. The rudder is a separate piece, which is nice, but it feels very brittle. It feels like a really brittle plastic. It's not the best in the world. And then here we've got the bottom wing. Again, similar, fairly large inscribed panel lines with really fine rivet detail on it. See some cracking in the plastic still, so this looks, it's probably not the best plastic being used at the time. Here's the top of the wing. Representation of the gun panels or the ammunition panels. There's one sprue. Got top and bottom parts for tail. No locator pins on any of this stuff. Make it a little bit difficult to get these together. A little bit of flash on there. Not too bad. Actually, now I think about it, I don't think there's any locator pins anywhere on this kit. No, not at all. Interesting decision. So here's the small parts sprue. Do you have stuff for a bomb and a drop tank? Your flaps are separate, your rudder's separate. It's not too bad. And you do get a little pilot guy. Kind of a generic pilot looking dude. So that's all there is to this kit. Early beginnings of Tamiya. Not quite the spectacular kits that you see coming out of them today. I know a lot of people consider Tamiya kits to be some of the finest kits being produced today. But they certainly had some humble beginnings with some fairly simple kits back in the day. So the rest of that initial series of aircraft that they brought out in 1964, the FA-101 was a Zero, an A6M3, the clipped wing version, Allied code name of HAMP or HAP. First called HAP, and then they changed it to HAMP because Hap Arnold didn't find that funny that they named that plane after him. Next came the FA-102, the Army Type 2, which was a Nakajima Ki-84, the Shoki. Allied code name for that was Tojo. The FA-103 was Army Interceptor Raiden, which is a Mitsubishi J2M, Allied code of Jack. And then the FA-105, which was the Kyushu J7W1 Shinden, which was the pusher canard plane that they came out with at the very, very tail end of the war. I don't think there was an Allied code name for that one, but I could be wrong on that. So that's all we got for today. Stay tuned afterwards, as usual, for some photographs, images of the other boxings of this kit. And you know what, I think since I don't have really any images of the real aircraft on this one, I'll throw in the 101 through 105 of the rest of the series so you can see what else they were producing in that first run of 5 aircraft from Tamiya. So have you ever built any one of these early Tamiya kits before? Let us know in the comment section, and have yourself a great day.